So we are live. Hey, everybody. I'm Grace.
Hi everyone, I'm Smita.
And this is.
A Tale of Two Friends.
And so Beyonce loves to party and we love to talk. Yes. And today we're talking about all things Kamala
Kamala
Harris.
Harris.
Yes. One of our favorite people. And so Smita, do you want to kick us off with today's question?
Yes, so today's question is Kamala Harris black, Indian, or mixed race?
Yes. I mean, first of all, we just have to state at the beginning that it's kind of ridiculous that this is even a question that's been floating around Al Gore and Blue Ivy's internet, right? Like, that's the first thing. But it's floating around, so let's address it. So from my perspective as a Black woman in America, I say she's Black. And we're going to go through a few reasons why I believe that and why Sunita believes what she believes. But I think the first thing is that her father is Jamaican. So she's of Jamaican descent, y'all. And if you are of Jamaican descent, you are Black. You are part of the African diaspora. Like, that's just like how this works. So the fact that folks are like, no, you aren't Black, is very confusing to me.
I mean, how did they get to Jamaica?
Right, on a boat, on a slave ship is how somebody and her family got there, to be real honest about it. And so, I mean, I get that she also is of Indian descent because her mother is from India. So I get how we can be like, okay, well, she's not just Black. And maybe if that was the conversation that was being had, I would be like, okay, I can see that. But that is not the conversation that's being had.
No.
But I'm excited to talk more and to learn more about Kamala's Indian background. So, Samita, you want to jump in and cover some of those details for us?
Yes, so Kamala's mother was born in India, I believe in Chennai in South India. So I found a really good article on Medium which broke it down for me. The author's called Sangeeta. So Kamala's mom's family are so they're Tamils, they're from South India. And there is a bit of you could call it diaspora war. You know how like African Americans have a diaspora war with like British Black people. There's a diaspora war in India. You have the North Indians and the South Indians. So North Indians is where my family's from. It's colder there. People tend to be lighter skinned. South Indians are darker skinned. We know how much colorism is an issue.
Yeah.
However, where Kamala's mom's from, they are like the indigenous Indians. They're the eldest inhabitants of that country. So if anyone's really Indian, it's probably them. However, what's the reason that this article is so good is because what's happening is people are saying, oh, Kamala's mom's Indian, she's Indian. They're not saying what type of Indian she is, because in India, South Indians are very discriminated against and around the world. If you look at Bollywood, which is the face of India, they've always got a really light-skinned woman, light-skinned, probably got features like me and knows that she's light, she could be white, you know, she could be Italian, that's how light she is. South Indians tend to be darker skinned. Like I said, their features are different to mine. They kind of have a bit more Afrocentric features, noses, lips are different. They're never used the face of India and they're never really hyped up in our community. And what this author is saying is we should acknowledge that this is where Kamala's mom comes from. You know, this is her background. She isn't North Indian. She's not palatable. She is South Indian.
Right.
And when she did her speech at the DNC, she didn't say a Hindi word, which is a national language. She actually used a Tamil word. So she's not denying it. And I just think it's really interesting because in the Indian racial hierarchy, you know, they're kind of below. So if anything, if she lived in India, for example, she would face that discrimination that African Americans face in America.
Right.
So that's why I find it interesting, because it's like even the type of Indian she is kind of aligns.
She's not even like the white kind of Indian, basically. She also the Black Indian, right? Like,
that's what I mean. It aligns with the experience of Blackness, with, you know, her people being discriminated against because they're darker. You know, they're not advertised the face of India when actually they are. There's more of them, I think, than North. So, you know,
they were there first, right? Like that was their plan.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I find that fascinating. And I think the other part that's fascinating too is that in England, you'll see a lot of mixed races. So you'll see an Asian person with a Jamaican person, right? That's not far stretch. You'll see white people with like everybody. No shade, but like they date all the folks in England. And
Everyone.
so in England during my time there, it was just like folks identified as being mixed race, right? Because they wanted to honor both heritage of their mother and father. In the US, it's not really like that. You kind of got to pick a lane, which is kind of messed up, but you got to kind of like pick the heritage that you identify with the most, I would say.
That's because of a historical law, though, isn't it? I believe.
Well, some of it for sure. You know, it made it easier to say that if you had any bit or a little drop of black blood in you, you were automatically black. And so, but a lot of it, I think, is because of just pure discrimination and racism that our country was founded on and continues to execute out to this day, right? And so it's easy to just be like, oh, you're definitely black or you're definitely white, and then I'm definitely going to treat you two different ways based off of your skin color.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Here we do have it is mixed race. We do tend to use the term mixed race. We don't use the term biracial, you know, that's sort of, we see it as an American term.
Right.
It's definitely mixed race. However, you know, we do have that and it is different. However, I have to say most mixed race people in the UK would still identify as black, because when they go out on road and they're in their nice cars and they're walking with their friends, they will still get stopped by the police.
Right.
They still get, Lewis Hamilton, I believe, is mixed race. I believe he is. You know, there's not many black or mixed race people in that sport altogether. Right. He has pushed for Black Lives Matter. He keeps talking about the fact that his sport is so white. So he gets treated as a black man. You know, so that's the thing here. Even though they might say they're mixed race, by government and structures, they are treated as black.
Yeah. But you know, even with that, like I was there when Obama won his second election, and everybody was like, "He's not black, he's mixed race," and I was like, "Obama is blackity black and extra black because he married Michelle." You know what I mean? I was just like, "What are y'all talking about?" Like and yes, his mother is white and his father is African, so like, okay, cool, I get it. But that was the first time where I was really introduced to that term, because to your point, we say biracial. And people doubling down on that term to be like, no, I'm not one or the other. Like, I'm mixed race. Like, I have all of it in me. And I was like, okay, y'all, like, live your best life.
Yeah. I mean, historically, you know what they used to call people that were white and black? They used to call them half caste, which is a really discriminatory term.
Oh, they used to call them what?
Half caste.
Oh, half caste. Oh, that's not nice.
It translates to half person. So about 20, 25 years ago, people were like, no, we use the term mixed race. However, mixed race, you know, example that makes me think about the way Kamala's been treated is we've got two very famous, I would call them mixed race celebrities. You've got Drake and you've got J. Cole, very famous, very popular. However, I've never heard them called mixed race, even though both of them in their music talk about them spending a lot of time with their white side of the family. Mm-hmm. Never heard them called in black hip hop spaces, which are normally gatekeepers of men. They haven't had any issue in those spaces. They're men. However,
nobody on Al Gore's or Blue Ivy's internet is fighting on Twitter about how Drake and J. Cole are white or are they black, right? Ain't nobody questioning their blackness, right? To be like,
because if you'll tell us a bit more about this, there's actually a lot more in Kamala's life which explains her blackness, her youth mainly.
Absolutely. So like in addition to her having a black daddy, right, she also went to historic black college and university. And so for our British listeners who may not be familiar, there are 107, 106 historic black colleges and universities that were founded here in America for the sole purpose of educating black people. So this is back when black folks were not allowed to go to these white schools. You couldn't go to Harvard, you couldn't go to Yale, like it wasn't getting in. And so what the black community did was created their own schools, and these schools are still here today, and the sole purpose of them is to educate black and brown people, right?
And you and Kamala went to the same uni?
We did! We both went to Howard University, the Howard University, located in Washington, D.C. But I think her making a decision to go to a Black school also means that she's doubling down on her Blackness. And as someone else who made a decision to go to a Black school, like, I can kind of see you saying, like, yeah, I'm planting my flag on this side, right? Not to discredit her Indian heritage at all, but to also say, like, this is how I want to be identified as we talked about before. And then in addition to her not just also attending and finish Howard University, she also became a member of a Black sorority. Again, Black folks weren't allowed to join white people's sorority. We created our own. The one that she actually joined, it was the first and is the oldest Black sorority in the nation, right? So she's also, yeah, the Ks are the oldest, and they were the first. So she's also, again, tripling down. You tripling down now. Like, you're not just saying, like, I'm Black because, you know, my heritage, but also because, as you said, the decisions that you're making, the schools that you're deciding to go to, and the organizations that you're deciding to be a part of. And I think her making those decisions is also her saying how I'm showing up in the world and how I want to be seen, right?
Yes. And also what's interesting is all VPs have been Ivy League graduates. She's the first one with a HBCU. That just shows how momentous this is. And this is not the one-of-the-mill path, one-of-the-mill person, whether they're Black or brown. They would have gone to Harvard, they would have gone to Stanford, to Yale, but her path is different, which, like I said, she's, you know, kind of claiming her Blackness and doubling down on it. Also, she made a comment about her mom. She goes, my mom was aware that she was raising 2 Black girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that even her mom was aware of, because her mom met her dad when they were campaigning.
Right. Her and her sister talk about that, right? Like, they both talk about how her mom maneuvered herself, being an Indian woman here in America, but also know that she was raising children that weren't just of Indian culture or heritage, but also that we're going to be seen as Black women.
Yeah, because it goes back to my point, and I'm going to bring in another woman now to illustrate it. So
yeah,
I would say, in my British view, that Kamala's mixed race. However, because she says she's Black, I will say she's Black. However somebody identifies to me, that's how I would identify. So I have one mixed race friend, Jamaican and English. She was herself mixed race. But I have another friend of exactly the same background. She's a Black woman. She sees herself as Black. So that's how that they assign it. It's got nothing to do with anyone else.
Right.
However, a very famous American celebrity who is now a British royal, Miss Meghan Markle, she actually identifies as mixed race. Yeah. When she said this, before the wedding, this was, people were angry. They didn't think she should have said that. Some people think she should have said she was Black. So they're just angry at women, you know, women of color.
That part. I think that's the part. I think they are just upset with women. But I also think that race is still like this crazy social construct that we haven't really unpacked or given enough perspective. Because I was just thinking when you were talking about however someone identifies or label themselves, like, that's how I'm going to approach them and respect, you know, their identification. And that happens with gender too, right? So, like, a lot of people are now choosing the pronouns that they want to use, and people are respecting those pronouns. But folks aren't choosing, there aren't letting people choose, like, their culture, their race, right? Like, we telling people, like, no, you're not invited to the cookout.
Especially when they're saying, this is who I am.
Right. Especially, and when they just like, here's some proof as to why I think I should be invited to the cookout. That's the other part also. Like, here's the proof.
Yeah, and the thing is with Meghan, like, we thought that her being, you know, her straight hair and she was very beautiful, that we thought she would get an easy ride because, you know, she wasn't like darker skinned. But she got a terrible ride. So
yeah, we thought colorism, right, came into play. We thought because of her color, she wouldn't be as discriminated against. And I was so disappointed with my cousins over there in England and how y'all treated me. I just knew y'all was going, like, check the tabloids, check the press, and be like, not on our watch. And y'all did not do that. Y'all just...
It's just kind of, I think it was a good thing in the sense that Britain tries to think they're so much better than America, but they're just as racist.
Oh, they're just as racist, right?
They're not open with it. They're not open like it is in America. And the treatment she got was horrible. So racism is alive and kicking everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I like my racism open. You know, I don't like secret racism. And you're right, it really came to a head into light when Meghan became a royal. It was just very clear. And I think the same thing is happening with Kamala Harris, right? Again, coming to head, coming to light, because you have a Black woman that's running for one of the most powerful offices in the land.
Exactly. Which links us to our final point. So the election is coming up in America, and we have lots of local elections in the UK. So our final message is that we want everyone to register to vote. And however you feel about Kamala, whether she is Black or she's mixed race or she's Indian, this is a really momentous time for both communities. You know, to have someone in this position, not many Indians in Congress or the Senate at all. So to have someone who's got to this point, you know, I feel like HBCU grads, African Americans, Indian Americans would be like, you know what, if I really want to get into this politics or do something, I can do it.
Absolutely. We definitely want you all to go out and vote. We're not trying to encourage you to vote for anyone in particular. We want you to just utilize the right that you have to vote. And for folks that have been voting since they turned 18, like amazing. We just want to encourage you then to continue to be a part of the political process and possibly run for office. You know, think about it, think it through, figure out what race looks interesting to you. And if running for office is not your thing, we just want to encourage you then to support not officials, we want you to support candidates that have similar beliefs as you and that you align with on different issues, right? So think about volunteering, donating, door knocking, maybe with a mask on. No door knocking.
With a mask on. I mean, I've joined my constituency myself to be the ethnic minorities officer. I just did that a few weeks ago because I thought, you know what, let's get involved. So you can definitely get involved, whether in the UK or even the US.
Right.
We'll have a new video for you next month. However, we would like you to comment your thoughts below. You know, what's your thoughts on Kamala? Do you see her as Black, Indian, or mixed race? Will you get involved in politics? What's your thoughts on election and everything? Please like, subscribe, and share.
Yes, and let us know. We love to hear back from you all. We read the comment section. And then also, too, if there's a question that you want us to answer, let us know. Let us know.
If you've got any ideas for future videos, we'd love to do a user question one time, wouldn't we? That would be quite fun.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Thank you all so much for listening. As Samita said, please like, share, comment across all your social media networks. And don't forget to register to vote if you have not registered.
And also the links to follow us on our social media are below. So make sure you follow us if you want to talk to us about the videos after.
Yes, you can catch us on Al Gore and Blue Ivy's internet. We're all over the place. We have all the socials.
All over Beyonce's internet. I haven't got used to saying Blue Ivy yet.
Yeah, it gotta be Blue Ivy's internet. I feel like her and Al Gore's.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
See y'all. Bye.